Yes, people, we're back in the place. Ah, wow. We are so good at the moment. Arsenal Football Club are at their best. We are back to playing football and enjoying ourselves and destroying teams, and demolition derbies just keep happening. As far as Arsenal are concerned, we are back in business, people. We're playing beautiful football. We're scoring all sorts of goals. We don't have to rely on set pieces like some people like to say now. And my God, are our players back to their best in terms of their individual form? We're going to get into all of it. We're going to talk about Bukayo Saka. We're going to talk about Martin Odegaard's performance. We're going to look at the Trossard and Havertz combined situation. We're going to talk about the midfield of Declan Rice. We're going to talk about the partnership with Gabriel and Saliba. We're going to talk about Jakub Kivior and David Raya today. Another clean sheet for Arsenal Football Club and 5 more goals to add to a goal difference, which is looking now very, very impressive. Their results have gone all right today as well, haven't they? West Ham losing, Calvin Phillips getting sent off, Spurs losing at home to Wolves. It's a fantastic day, and I hope that you are all going to enjoy your weekend. We're going to look tonight towards Manchester City and Chelsea and pray that Chelsea can do something under Poch to try and allow Man City to drop points, although I do feel that Manchester City will win that one. And then we've got more football tomorrow, and I believe there's Monday night as well. This is going to be fantastic. I am very much enjoying watching Arsenal right now. Since Dubai, so much has changed. We've focused so much on our set pieces. We focused so much on our style of play. We've looked to be more creative. We looked at more flair. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful to see. And Arsenal Football Club right now, we are a joy to watch again. Wasn't there today, didn't do the watch along. I've been busy myself this weekend and I was out last night, so I was never going to get back to Essex or London in time. So I got to sit and chill and watch it at home. And you know what? It was beautiful to do. Big up to everybody. Big up to Chi. Big up to Rockstar. Big up to BC. Big up to John. Big up to Bradley. Who else is in the house? Dan Lawless is getting a lot of stick today in here, and it's beautiful to see. Big up to Jacob. Who else have we got in here? Big up to FFP. Big up to Jake. Big up to here to there. Big up to Freddie. Big up to Yazino. Listen, thank you all so much for being here. Do me a favor, make sure you smash a like on this video. We are so close to getting towards 20k. We're only a few thousand away. We really need your help to get us towards that. So please make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And if you do want to join, then you can do by clicking the join button. If you do want one of these behind me, please make sure you click on the link in the description and go to Russell Hogg Photography. Let him know you are a Gooner and he will sort you out one of these behind me. They are beautiful and they are in all sorts of colors as well. So make sure that you do that. And if you do like a bet this weekend, go to the Patreon, click the link for Bread and Honey Bets, and they will sort you out for this evening's boxing and UFC and tomorrow's football as well. So everybody wants to talk about Dan Lawless being in the mud. I don't care about West Ham. I couldn't give a damn about that now. That's done. They're lost again. They're terrible. And they're heading down towards the top half of the table to try and have a fight with Wolves and Chelsea to get in it. Let's talk about Arsenal. Arsenal were beautiful today. Arsenal were really good to watch. And although Burnley are a poor side and I expected us to win comfortably, I went for a 3-0 Arsenal win and thought that it would be a game in which we just dominated and we'd get a couple of goals towards the latter part of the second half and we comfortably win. But my goodness, it was from start to finish all Arsenal. Burnley had a couple of shots but didn't really do much. David Raya made a couple of pickups and a couple of good saves, but it was nothing really that hit the goal that I was worried about. They had a couple of shots that went wide. They had a couple of corners that we defended really well. But other than that, Burnley have actually really disappointed me this season. Vincent Kompany, I think, is the only manager who is not being spoken about in teams that are down there. Now, I understand that Luton's manager is not going to be spoken about because they're giving it a right go. Sheffield United have replaced their manager. Crystal Palace are replacing their manager. Forest have sacked Cooper and now they've got in Nuno. Everton, the only reason they're keeping hold of Dyche is because of the points drop. But now, look at it. You've got Vincent Kompany, who's Pep's boy, and everyone seems now to think that this guy's good enough to be staying at Burnley. They are doing nothing. They've got no style of play. It's madness. Absolutely madness. But long may it continue when they play Arsenal. I thought Burnley were really poor today, but I thought Arsenal were fantastic, and that's where I want to put a lot of this analysis onto because I thought Arsenal really controlled the game. I thought they were amazing when it comes to our passing. I thought the 1-2s and the passing in triangles was fantastic at times. And there's a few performances that I really want to highlight today. The first one is of Martin Odegaard. For me, I think he's the man of the match today. The guy just pulls the strings. He drops deep. He links up play. He goes and floats around in the 8. Then he pushes forward to the 10. Then he's dropping back down to the 6 again. Every time he's on the ball, he is so confident with it. And all of the players around him are so confident to give him the ball. I honestly believe that this is Martin Odegaard at his best. And when Martin Odegaard's at his best, he's one of the best midfielders in world football in terms of how technically gifted he is. The problem with Martin Odegaard of the last couple of seasons is that I don't think he's been consistent in that. But we're seeing some really consistent performance from him now. I've been so impressed with what Martin Odegaard has been doing in an Arsenal shirt of late. And if I'm honest with you, today was one of his best games again. Fought against West Ham. He was beautiful to watch, but today he was really good as well. And I think that everything he did from the first minute to the last minute was a real captain's performance, a man of the match, and a leadership performance. And I was so impressed with him, man. The first goal, it was quality. Absolutely beautifully struck. The technique there to actually flick it up and allow it to drop down and to hit it so sweetly. The goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance there. It was beautiful from Martin Odegaard. Every time he sprayed a ball, it was for going forward, kept it simple when needed to be. He is an absolute puppet master pulling the strings, and I really liked his performance. And for me, he would have got as close to a 9 or a 10 out of 10 performance today. I thought Martin Odegaard was great. He basically assisted or created most of what we did going forward, got himself on the score sheet, was an absolute masterclass. So for me, take a bow, Martin Odegaard. Absolutely outstanding. The other player who deserves credit is, of course, Bukayo Saka. Another 2 goals from him today. He did come off, and I was glad to see him come off, if I'm honest with you. But a great performance. Really good second goal, by the way. I know we got the penalty, but really good second goal. The way that he actually allows him to cut inside and then completely dummy the defender to go down the other way. And he has definitely got a right foot, Bukayo Saka. There's a lot of times I've seen that finish in the right foot, roofing into the net. Really impressed by him, man. Really impressed today. So have to say, now that's 12 Premier League goals, 7 assists, or did he get another one today? So 12 goals, 7 assists. I mean, yeah, he's starting to head towards 15 goals again, isn't he? Yeah, he might even get more. It's crazy to think that people were saying that he has not had the season he had last season. Well, if he ends the way he's going, he might even get ahead of 15. He's only got to get 3 more to equal it. And we've got, what, 14, 13 games is it left? 13 left? Incredible performance. Great to see him come off and get the rest that he needs, but really good performance from Bukayo Saka. I thought that everything he did looked really good. He was always looking to be creative, always looking to go forward, and always looking to link up play. So fair play to Bukayo Saka. I thought he was outstanding. Let's talk about Trossard, Havertz, and Martinelli going forward, just to kind of complete that front line. I think what Havertz and Trossard did today was very similar to what they did against West Ham, and they were switching a little bit. They were making it difficult for the opposition. They were changing, interlinking, and interchanging. And Martinelli, although probably one of the quieter ones again, always looked to be threatening, man. Always looked to be able to beat his man. Always looked to be putting the ball in. Made a couple of great chances and created some of the play that were scored by some of the goals. Havertz impressed me again today. Havertz has been impressing me just by his style of play of late. I just think he's made a real nuisance of himself. I think his late runs into the box have started to be a lot more evident and a lot more clear to watch. The breakup of his play, the way that he keeps the ball moving. Sometimes he slows down play, which does annoy people and frustrates a lot of the fans, and I'm kind of in that camp. However, I thought he took his goal really well, man. Really well. Capitalised on all the mistakes of Burnley. I was really impressed today from Kai Havertz, and I think he's starting to really get confidence back into this side, and I was impressed by his performance. I don't think any Arsenal player had a bad game, if I'm honest. Good to see Trossard scoring. I'm going to say this now. Jesus doesn't get back in this side. He's got to be a sub at the moment, because Trossard's performances have been consistently good. And I do like him in that false 9 position, because he drops deep, he gets involved, he links up plays, great in 1-2s, he's got quick feet, he can have a shot on goal, he's not afraid to actually have a dig as well. And he's actually got both feet that he's using as well. And that's what I like. It doesn't matter whether he's shooting with right or left foot. I'm so impressed by him. So I'm a big fan of what Leandro Trossard's doing in an Arsenal shirt. And I think he's been a great signing. I think sometimes he gets overlooked because he's not a first team starter. He's not coming like a Declan Rice as a huge signing. But when he was signed in January, he actually did contribute a lot to our title race. And this season as well, he's done exactly that. Can play in a number of positions, whether it be right, left, attacking midfield, attacking 8, number 10, or false 9. But I've seen him in this position, and I really like the way that everyone is playing and linking around him. I think he brings a lot of players into play, and I also believe that he complements a lot of the players around him in terms of what they're trying to do moving forward in the final third for Arsenal. So I've been a big fan of what I've seen. And I think that he needs to continue to play in that position even when Gabby Jesus is fit. So I think Leandro Trossard deserves a mention today. I also believe that he is probably the best finisher at the club. I think him and Martinelli, it's a kind of toss-up really between those two. I think Leandro Trossard has also got a little bit of a Thomas Rosicky in about him where he'll have a dig from outside the box. A lot of people compare him to Cazorla and Hleb in terms of his quick feet. He reminds me a lot of Freddie Ljungberg with his movement. He's got a lot of ex-Arsenal attributes that I like about him, Leandro Trossard. And I thought Leo today was fantastic. So fair play to him. I thought he was brilliant. And then we go into our midfield. Declan Rice, again, just so comfortable on the ball, man. Good to see him coming off and getting some rest because we obviously need to be keeping him fit for the long games that we've got in the next coming days and weeks. But Jorginho came on and just kept things simple again. But Declan Rice, he's just a monster. You know, what tackles he was putting in, the interceptions, the never say die attitude. And when he's on the ball, everybody around him just seems comfortable. Why? Because he's so calm and collected. He was magnificent today for me. Another really consistent performance, another 8 out of 10 performance. I haven't really seen Declan Rice play anything less than a 7 or 8. Maybe against, was it West Ham? He had a poor game at the Emirates. You'd probably say it was a 6, giving the ball away, giving a penalty away. But other than that, man, he's been Mr. Consistent. And what a signing he's been, man. What a signing. So this side is going to be kept together now. When you win 6-0 and 5-0, you can't start making changes for me. You just can't do that because it's working. And you're not just scraping past. You're not just controlling possession. You're not trying to wait for that set piece to go in. You're not trying to allow them to be kept out of the game and keep the ball away from your goal. You're actually playing free-flowing football. So I think they're the players that need a mention, really, was Ødegaard, Rice and Saka. Trossard deserved a mention, Havertz deserved a mention, and of course Martinelli comes into that mix in terms of just never say die attitude and tenacity that we're seeing from the player. And then we go to defence. Now, I thought Ben White, Gabriel and Saliba were as solid as ever, but I've got to big up Jacob Kivior today. I thought his one-on-one defending was exceptional when it needed to be. And I thought that he just prevented anything from coming down that left-hand side. And he's been definitely critical when you look at what he's tried to achieve in an Arsenal shirt in the early days. I do feel personally like there's been a couple of games where he's been really poor. I think there's been games at left back where people have questioned why he's still playing there. But Kivior was really good today, man. Really good. And I thought there was a couple of times where he really saw the ball out well for a goal kick, where he was just preventing anyone coming down the side to him. There was a chance in the first half that Burnley had got actually away from Saliba. Saliba got done by Fofana, and Kivior took his man well, and he kept the ball and he let it go out for a throw-in and for a goal kick. And I was like, this is good from Kivior. I also started to see a little bit more of his pace today for the first time in a while, because there has been times where Kivior's looked pretty slow, and although he's breaking records in training apparently, I didn't feel personally he was slow. So really impressive. I'm going to agree with something that someone said in the chat. Big up to Bradley Martin, because he said it helps when he doesn't have to invert. Absolutely, man. Ben White, you being the inverted player is so much better for Kivior. He just couldn't do that role. And I think Mikel Arteta, fair play to him. He's recognised that and said, right, what else can we do? It doesn't always have to be the left back. Now let's allow Ben White to do it. And he's been great, man. He really has. So we're playing well. It's great to see. And we're now showing a little bit of momentum, a little bit of consistency, similarly to how we started last season, actually, towards the autumn time, where we had that run of games where you thought, you know what, Arsenal don't look like they're not going to be slipping up here. And then we'd had to have the slip up. Now, that's what I don't want, is any clusters. I don't want any more cluster results. I really don't. So for me, I want to see this continue. The consistency now of Newcastle, Sheffield United and Brentford. And I feel like with 2 home games and 1 away against Sheffield United who are poor, I feel like we'll be okay. I really do. Newcastle today have a disappointing result at home to Bournemouth. Brentford got hammered today by Liverpool. And Sheffield United, let's be real, you can't be going there and dropping points. They've been poor. They're near the bottom for a reason. So the next 3 games are going to be very, very difficult in terms of a Premier League fixture. But if you look at form and how we're playing, everyone has us as favourites. We've got Porto, which we'll come on to before we close. And obviously that's going to be a difficult game because we're back in Champions League action and we've got to look at our squad rotation and how we can keep players fit. The only thing negatively today, again, is I look at the bench and I see somebody called Sweet on it, somebody called Bandara on it. And that's worrying. That is, when Cedric's still there and Elneny and players like that, Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson's coming on again. It's okay when you're 5-0 up. It's absolutely okay. But when it's 0-0 and you need something from the bench, we may struggle with that. So let's hope we get our players back soon. The team news was no real surprise to me, but what was disappointing was there's no Tomiyasu still. There's no Zinchenko and Jesus still. And obviously Fabio Vieira is still not in the mix. And Timber also with Party going to be out for a few more weeks. So I want to see these players start coming back into the mix very soon. And I think they will do. I think if you look towards the end of this month and the start of March, you'll start to see those players make the bench and make the squad. And that's going to be a positive for Arsenal. That's going to be a massive boost. When you look at Tomiyasu and Timber, people will say, well, they're not going to start. Well, actually, Tomiyasu and Timber, their form and the way they were playing could have actually allowed them to force their way into this first 11. And that's what we want. Thomas Partey starts in this team. He needs to come back into the mix. Fabio Vieira doesn't start for me, but can be a sub that could probably come on alongside the likes of Havertz and Smith Rowe. So it's good to have a fully fit squad, man. It really is. But total domination today. Was really, really impressed with it. And I have to also say a massive clean sheet bonus for David Raya and our backline, because they all deserved it today. You know, there was no way that Burnley deserved that. And I love the way that they are all together every time they're keeping the ball out of the net. You know, Gabriel is barking orders at him. He's congratulating Kivior, Ben White and Saliba are high-fiving each other. David Reyes getting his kind of flowers and plaudits, which is absolutely correct. David Raya collated everything again today. He looks commanding in his area. And what I love about it is he just gets the ball moving and keeps it moving. And he's not afraid to keep it moving. He's not afraid to throw it out quick and try to start an attack. He's not afraid to see a quick kick. He's really good with his feet. The pass that he did to ping it to Martin Odegaard today at one stage in the second half was absolutely phenomenal from a goalkeeper in terms of technique. Really, really impressed with David Raya. And it's somebody that I now look at and think, do you know what, Mikel Arteta, fair play, because you got a lot of stick for this. And David Raya as well, fair play, because he could have been very, very nervous and continued his lack of confidence. But both of them now, it looks like it's worked. Aaron Ramsdale has probably played one of his last games at Arsenal. I think he'll play one more game against Brentford at home in the next couple of weeks, and that will be a goodbye from me then. I think he'll be leaving to go and have a career somewhere else, and we'll have to go and look at another goalkeeper in the summer. But I do look at David Raya now and think, yeah, do you know what? There's not real much difference still between you and Aaron Ramsdale in a lot that you do, but you have got a little bit of quality in terms of some of your attributes that I think are actually better. I think Aaron Ramsdale's got attributes that are better as well in some of his attributes, and there's still not much between them. But he's definitely settled now, and he's looking a lot more of a goalkeeper that's showing some confidence. So I've been really, really impressed with him, to be fair. We definitely have improved our style of play. Now, people will sit there and go, oh, nothing's changed. We're just taking our chances now. Totally disagree. Our style of play is not keep it safe, pass it round, just trying to, if it's 2-1, 1-0, it doesn't matter. It's all good. We were being calm and composed for most of this season, and the majority of it. We've hit February and we're now trying to go. And I look at the creativity. There is no way, there's a coincidence that we have scored what is now 21 goals since we've come back from Dubai. 21 goals. We've kept a lot of clean sheets in that as well. Okay, we lost a silly goal against Nottingham Forest and Liverpool. That's all we've conceded. So when you look at it, we've basically made 2 errors since Dubai to allow 2 goals to go in, which we were all disappointed by. Saliba got bodied by Awoniyi, and we conceded a silly mess-up goal against Liverpool. That's it. So we have definitely improved our style of play. We look so much more like last season at the moment. We're free-flowing. And this has got to continue and come at the best of times, because if we do want to win the league, we have to be flawless like this. And this is what we are right now. We're playing flawless football. And people will look at the opposition. But when Man City beat teams like this, everyone says they're great. So let's have the same energy, people. Yeah? Manchester City beat Everton twice, Brentford, Forest, Newcastle, Sheffield United, and everyone's saying, oh, they're on fire. Manchester United, when they do it, Spurs, when they do it, Arsenal, when we do it, oh, well, it's only look at they're playing. No, man, I don't care. You only beat the people in front of you. And do you know what we're doing with them? We're absolutely obliterating them at the moment. So big us up, man. Big us up, because our football deserves it. We've been playing very, very well. And moving forward, I'm really, really excited about watching Arsenal right now. It's a pleasure to watch us. Some of the positional play that we're there, some of the off the ball stuff, some of the link up, some of the passing in triangles, some of the late runs into the box, Martin Odegaard pulling the strings, Saka back to his best, Havertz coming into the mix, Trossard looking good in false 9. Let's big all this up. Declan Rice controlling midfield, Gabriel and Saliba's partnership, Kivior improving, Ben White now starting to show the form of last season, Ben White, overlapping a lot more. This is definitely a change of style since Dubai. Definitely is, 100%. So we've got to big that up for me, man, 100%. Before I finish, moving on to Porto in midweek. This is going to be hard, guys. This is going to be tricky. I wouldn't change anything because of the way we're playing right now, and the away performances have been really, really good against Burnley and West Ham. So I wouldn't be changing anything. But this is going to be a very different game. They've got experience in the Champions League. It's a hard place to go. We haven't actually won over there. And I just feel like we might slip up on this one in terms of a draw. I don't know why. I can't really tell you anything. Maybe it's past history. Maybe I'm not looking at form. Maybe it's because the Champions League isn't about form. Maybe it's because it's a different competition. But I just feel this will be difficult. Now, I think we can get through the tie, and I think we'll beat them at home. But this could be a real tough performance. Don't go over there believing that it's going to be another 4 or 5 or 6 because I don't think it will be. I think Porto are a different kettle of fish to the teams that we're playing down the bottom of our league. Porto are always at the top of their league and they're always in the Champions League. They're a team that are respected and should be respected. They've won the competition, albeit a long time ago now. It was 20 years ago under Jose Mourinho, but they're a side that have always been respected in the Champions League. So what would I do? I'd keep things exactly the same. If I'm honest with you, I think Tommy Asu will come into that left back role eventually when he does come back. And I'm slightly worried that he's not back because most of the other players over in the Asian Cup and African Cup of Nations are now kind of back playing when their teams have gone out. He's not. I don't know if it's an injury he's kind of recovering from. So that's a bit of a worry. But I expect to see Timber and Partey towards the end of this month. I expect to see could see Smith Rowe coming on again today. I thought the lads that did come on today looked very good. I thought Reece Nelson was showing some glimpses of what he's about. I thought Smith Rowe was actually showing a little bit of confidence and drive. Eddie Nketiah was getting involved in the mix. A couple of bad passes, but got himself involved. Jorginho pulling the strings, really, really good to see. And Cedric, to be honest with him, he's come on and he's looked like a Premier League player in the last few games that we've seen from Cedric. So fair play to him, man. But that's where I'm at with this going into this Wednesday night fixture. I think it's going to be a real tough game. I think we'll win, but it doesn't surprise me if we slip up and go for a draw and then try and go for another one. I just don't expect for another 4, 5, 6 to be going through. I just don't see that happening personally against Porto. But I've been wrong before, as a lot of you know. So where I'm at right now with Arsenal is we are enjoyable to watch. Big up to Mikel Arteta because he's definitely now changed the style of play. We look a hell of a lot more attractive. We've got flair. We've got confidence in possession. We look great going forward. We're free-flowing. There's technical ability from the players. There's tenacity. There's never say die attitude. We look more together. We're brilliant as a unit defensively and as a department in midfield. We look so much better since he's tweaked it slightly. I'm a big fan, man. I'm a big fan. And great to see Tottenham and West Ham losing. A lot of people saying it in the chat. Let's just have it say how it is. Great to see both of them losing. I don't care, personally. I absolutely love it when Tottenham lose and I love it when West Ham lose because they deserve a humbling. And that's exactly what they both of them got today. So Arsenal are back. We're playing well. Let's concentrate on us. We go next, obviously, to Porto in the Champions League. And then, of course, back then to Premier League action with Newcastle, Sheffield United and Brentford as our 3 games after that. Up the Arsenal. Man of the match for me today, Martin Ødegaard. Great for everyone to be enjoying watching Arsenal again. Big up to everybody in this chat. You are absolute legends. Make sure you do me a favor. Smash a like. Hit the subscribe button because we're now well on our way to 17K for our race to 20. So hopefully you'll join me in hitting that like button and subscribe button. How many likes are we on now? We're on 77 likes. Let's get that up to 100 likes, please, people. All we need to do is click the like button and then hit subscribe. It's only 2 buttons. They're absolutely free. And it really helps the channel. So please make sure you do that. Make sure you drop Russell Hogg a line. Make sure you go to Russell Hogg Photography. The link is in the description and ask for one of these canvases behind. He'll sort you out with one if you're a gooner. Just say Dan Potts sent me and he'll sort you one out. Until then, we'll be back very soon. Tomorrow night, I'll be on Lee Judge's TV with him. Make sure you follow us over there. Content tomorrow on here. Make sure you join us. Take it easy, people. And of course, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.